This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Lila Carter.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a unique approach to healing what you're struggling with? A solution might be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Amy Walsh with Peak Alignment. Amy, how's it going?
Going very well, Lila. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So we're excited to learn all about you and your business. Please tell us about your company.
So I am, as you said, with Peak Alignment, and I help high achievers who look successful on the outside, but on the inside, they feel like they're drowning. They might be struggling with anxiety or perfectionism, health issues that tend to be unexplained, like IBS or infertility, the epidemic of autoimmune issues, complex things like that. They might be feeling the need to control things in their environment, struggle with connecting in their relationships, have other health issues like insomnia, or feel like they're chronically stuck in fight or flight. So those are kind of the things, the type of people that I help with. And basically my business is a blend of neuroscience, hypnotherapy, energy work, and empowered mindset coaching. And we kind of combined all those good things to help regulate your nervous system and realign and connect with your true self.
There's so many different ways that you're addressing people's needs here in this space. Now, how did you get into such a unique business?
So actually, I got into it out of my own need. I spent years and years in corporate, in medical sales. So you can imagine medical sales and sales in general is very high performance. So you're on all the time. And I had been doing all the normal things that I'm sure everyone else has done, traditional therapy and yoga and meditating and everything. But none of that was really helping me heal or feel good. I was still constantly stuck in that fight or flight. So based on my own need for change, I started looking to alternative modalities. And I've always been very into holistic health. It's something I'm super passionate about. I grew up in holistic health. My dad's a chiropractor, a nutritionist, and all that stuff. But it wasn't until I got into doing some subconscious work and energy work in my own journey that my anxiety instantly changed. Like I had been on anxiety meds for years. And when I discovered hypnotherapy and subconscious work and energy work, I was able to actually heal. I wasn't just managing my symptoms anymore. I was actually healed and feeling so much better. And once I did that, I became like extremely passionate about it. I was like, more people need to know about this. Why don't more people? Why isn't this not mainstream? So I ended up quitting my corporate job and doing it. I've been doing it for about 7 years and I absolutely love it. I'm super passionate about it. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, ooh, I'm so excited to help someone with something new. And I feel like in the world that we live in with so much chronic illness between our food and chronic stress and everything like this, that it provides a type of hope to people that they don't get all the time in other modalities.
Yeah. Is there one myth or maybe misconception in this industry that you'd like to address today?
Yes, definitely. I would say that there's a couple primary ones. So with hypnotherapy, a lot of times people get very weirded out, like, oh my gosh, you're going to control my mind. You're going to make me cluck like a chicken. Because oftentimes people think hypnotherapy is like a hypnotist, like a magician, like a show magician. Hypnotherapy is very, very different than that. So hypnotherapy, you actually go in and out of trance multiple times a day. Trance is just when you switch from like one part of your brain, the logic side of your brain, over to the emotional side of your brain. And we're actually driven. The emotional side of your brain is your subconscious. And 95% of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are driven by our subconscious mind. So every time you're driving, every time you're kind of zoned out at work or listening to music or get teary-eyed, watching a commercial, that's actually you being in trance or in your subconscious part of your mind. So the second myth that I'd love to address is people think energy work isn't real. They're like, energy work, what's that? That's not real. That's not science. When actually every single thing in all of our lives is energy. So stress is energy, anxiety is energy, chronic health issues or a disruption of energy flow in our body. A limiting belief, a thought is energetic. So there's no way to be alive without addressing your energy system or energetic imbalances in your body. Make sense?
Yeah, that's a great insight. Absolutely. So as we think of marketing as the heart of every organization, who are your target customers and how are you attracting them to peak alignment?
So my ideal customer is definitely, like I said before, a high performer, someone, whether they're in corporate leadership or sales or any type of high performance job where you're on. So that could be, medical sales, it could be real estate, it could be financial sales, anything like that, where you're constantly in push and performance mode. And generally where I like to show up, I'll be perfectly honest that I probably don't market as much as I should because I'm busy seeing clients a lot of the day. I'm not doing as much social media as I'd like, but generally you can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. I am doing a lot more speaking engagements now. So I like to work with different sales teams and go in and help them manage their stress and teach them easy, simple techniques that they can do throughout their day to pull them out of fight or flight. But I do workshops, I do speaking engagements. I love doing podcasts as well. So thanks again for having me here today.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing your own podcast?
I have. I actually would love to do my own podcast. I've taken courses on podcasting. I have the equipment for it. I just haven't fully dove into it. And it's because I have 2 little kids that still take up a lot of my time. I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, but I feel like podcasting is something I'm passionate about. There's probably not a minute of my free time that I'm not listening to podcasts. So constantly listening to podcasts, love them, and probably will eventually start my own podcast.
Yeah. So outside of work, what do you do for fun?
Like I said, I have 2 little kids right now, so I spend a lot of time exploring all the Pittsburgh playgrounds. So we're trying to hit all the different playgrounds in the area. I love going to Burn Boot Camp, so working out. I love hot yoga, dancing, traveling. Anything involved with like a theme party is definitely right up my alley. I go to a monthly bunko night with my girlfriends where we dress in theme and do fun things like that. But yeah, a lot of my world right now is pretty tied up with mom things.
Yeah, and finding new parks to explore.
Yes.
I highly recommend Blue Slide Park. They choose their piece of board and they go zooming down the big blue slide. It's so much fun.
Oh my gosh, what town is that in? That sounds super awesome.
It's in Squirrel Hill.
Oh, in Squirrel Hill. Okay, I will put that on my list of places to visit.
Yeah, it's a Pittsburgh iconic park, so definitely visit. So Amy, please tell our listeners one thing that they should remember about peak alignment.
I would say that the thing that I want to leave you with is that healing doesn't have to take long. Often people think that when they go to therapy, it's this long, drawn out, 10-year process or something that they have to do forever, where in this style of therapy, it's very quick. It's very, direct. And most people I work with, I only work with for about 1 to 3 months to heal the issue that they're struggling with. So this doesn't have to be a lifelong sentence, whatever you're struggling with, healing is possible. And just because you're in a high performance job, success does not have to cost you your sanity. There is availability for things out there to do differently. And I'm only one phone call away. So I hope you take time for yourself. I hope you reach out. I hope you find hope that there is something else available to help you meet your goals.
And Amy, how can our listeners learn more about peak alignment?
You can visit my website is www.amylynnwalsh.com, or on Instagram, I'm at highvibe.hypnocoach.
Excellent. Well, Amy, I really appreciate your time today and having you as a guest on the show. We wish you and your business the best moving forward.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnppittsburgh.com. That's gnppittsburgh.com. Or call 412-561-9956.